Does it feel like people are slipping away as you get older? The calls that never come, the gatherings that never happen, the silence where laughter used to be? You're not imagining it, and it's not just you. Hi, everyone. If you've ever wondered why friendships fade, family feels distant, or your social circle seems to shrink with time, this video is for you. Today, we're uncovering the 8 surprising reasons people drift away as we age. And I'm not talking about bad luck or busy schedules. These are behaviors we unknowingly do that push others away. The good news? Every single one is within your control, whether it's clinging to the past, refusing to adapt, or a habit you don't even realize is toxic. We'll break it all down. And stick around until the end, because reason number 7, it's the silent relationship killer almost no one talks about. This isn't about blame, it's about power. The power to rebuild connections, reignite relationships, and make your later years the most fulfilling yet. Let's get started. Reason 1, neglecting personal growth. Let's start with the biggest silent killer of relationships as we age, neglecting personal growth. Here's the hard truth. Stagnation makes you unrelatable. When you stop evolving, the world keeps moving, and suddenly the people around you feel like they're speaking a different language. Imagine this. Your grandkids are buzzing about AI, crypto, or the latest TikTok trend. One grandparent leans in and says, "Show me how that works." The other grumbles, "Back in my day, we didn't need all this nonsense." Which one do you think gets invited to the next family game night? Stagnation is like a pond. It grows moss, turns murky, and life avoids it. But a river? It's constantly moving, adapting, and staying fresh. That's the power of growth. It's not about mastering every trend or gadget. It's about staying curious enough to ask, what's new? Instead of clinging to what was. Now I get it. Change can feel exhausting. Maybe you're thinking, I've lived my life. Why should I keep learning? But here's the secret. Growth isn't a chore. It's a cheat code to staying connected. When you take a class, read a book outside your usual genre, or even ask your barista about the latest coffee trend, you're sending a signal. I'm still here. I'm still interested in your world. Think about the stories you tell. Are they only about the good old days? Or do you have new adventures to share? People light up when you talk about the pottery class you tried last week, not just the job you retired from 20 years ago. Growth isn't about erasing your past. It's about adding to it. So let's get practical. This week, do one thing that scares your comfort zone. Download a language app and learn hello in Spanish. Ask a coworker about their favorite podcast. Watch a YouTube tutorial on something you've never tried. Yes, even TikTok dances. Every small step keeps you flowing like that river. And trust me, people will want to jump in with you. Remember, growth isn't about staying young. It's about staying alive to new ideas, new people, and new ways to connect. And that's irresistible at any age. But what if you're growing and still pushing people away? Let's talk about the energy you're radiating. Next up, reason 2, constant negativity. Imagine walking into a room where someone's energy feels like a storm cloud, heavy, dark, and draining. That's the power of constant negativity. While venting is normal, chronic complaining, it's like emotional quicksand. People don't abandon you because you're honest. They leave because they're exhausted. Let's get real. We've all been around someone who hijacks every conversation with doom scrolling. The world's going to hell. Kids these days. My back hurts. My neighbor's loud. And don't get me started on the weather. Now contrast that with someone who walks in and says, "Let me tell you a funny story about my dog." Which person would you text for coffee? Here's the science. Negativity floods conversations with cortisol, the stress hormone. Positivity, it sparks oxytocin, the bonding chemical. You don't have to be Pollyanna, but balance matters. If 80% of your talk is complaints, even loved ones will subconsciously dodge your calls. So how do you flip the script? Start small. Every morning, jot down one thing you're grateful for, even if it's just your morning coffee. Train your brain to spot the good. And here's a rule. Limit venting to 20% of conversations. For every gripe, share 4 positives. Traffic was awful, but I found this amazing podcast. I'm not saying ignore real pain. Life's tough. But if every chat feels like a therapy session, people will start RSVPing no to your energy. Now be honest. Have you ever distanced yourself from someone stuck in negativity? Comment number 2 below. Let's normalize healthier conversations. This week, catch yourself. Before launching into a rant, ask, is this worth 20%? Swap one complaint for a curiosity. Ugh, it's raining becomes, let's bake cookies and watch the storm. Small shifts. Huge reward. Negativity shrinks your world. Positivity. It opens doors and keeps people walking through them. Next up, a reason that's sneakier than you think. But what if you're trying to stay positive and people still drift away? Let's talk about the silent killer nobody sees coming. Reason 3, failing to nurture relationships. Ever felt like you're the only one keeping a relationship alive? Waiting by the phone, hoping they'll call? Here's the hard truth. Relationships aren't spectator sports. If you're always on the sidelines, waiting for others to make the first move, connections fade faster than you think. Let's break it down. Imagine 2 people. One waits thinking, if they cared, they'd reach out. The other sends a quick text. Hey, miss your laugh. Coffee soon? Guess who stays on people's radar? Love and friendship aren't about mind reading. They're about showing up, not just showing interest. Think of relationships like a garden. If only one person waters it, even the strongest roots wither. Studies show people reciprocate 80% of the effort they receive. That means when you send a thinking of you note or plan a quick catch-up, you're not just giving, you're investing in a cycle of care. Now I get it, life gets busy, but here's the hack, set reminders. Yes, seriously, schedule 2 minutes a day to send a voice note, a meme, or even a "this made me think of you" text. It's not about grand gestures, it's about consistency. Tiny efforts add up to big trust. Here's the magic. When you initiate, you're not just maintaining a relationship, you're reminding people they matter. And when someone feels valued, they'll move mountains to keep you close. But silence leaves room for doubt. This week, pick one person you've been waiting on. Send a no pressure, a just miss you message. Set a reminder to check in next month. Watch how that 80% rule kicks in, because effort is contagious. Bottom line, relationships thrive on mutual "I see you" moments. Don't wait for them to start. Be the one who does. But what if you're putting in the work and still hitting walls? Next up, the invisible force pushing people away. Reason 4, refusing to adapt to change. Ever feel like the world's moving too fast? Like every new app, trend, or slang word is a locked door you don't have the key to? Here's the truth. Refusing to adapt doesn't just leave you behind. It builds walls between you and the people you love. Let's face it, mocking TikTok or rolling your eyes at kids these days might feel harmless, but it sends a message. Your world doesn't matter to me. Compare that to saying, show me how this app works. Suddenly, you're not just bridging a tech gap. You're building a connection. Rigidity isn't about age, it's about mindset. I've seen 80-year-olds mastering Instagram Reels and 40-year-olds refusing to text. The difference? One chooses curiosity over comfort. And guess what? People flock to curiosity like moths to a flame. Here's your fix. Learn one new tech skill a month. Start small. This month, master video calls. Next month, try streaming music. Don't aim for perfection. Aim for good enough. When you FaceTime your grandkid or play their favorite playlist, you're not just learning tech, you're learning their language. And hey, if you've ever panicked when a website asked for a QR code or yelled, "Why does this remote have 50 buttons?" Comment number 4. Let's normalize the struggle. Every "how does this work" is a step toward keeping people in your life. This week, ask someone under 30 to teach you one thing, a meme, a Spotify playlist, how to react with emojis. Not only will you learn, you'll show them they matter. And that's how you turn "okay boomer" into "tell me more." Adapting isn't about keeping up, it's about staying close. And if you're still watching this video, you're already winning. Next up, a reason that's so subtle You might not even notice it's pushing people away, but what if you're adapting, staying curious, and still feeling disconnected? Let's talk about the silent trap of dependency. Reason 5. Overdependence. Love and support are the glue of relationships. But what happens when needing help becomes a crutch? Overdependence doesn't just drain others. It quietly erodes their respect for your strength. Let's get real. We all need help sometimes. But when you call your son daily to reset your Wi-Fi or text your friend every time you can't decide what to eat, you're not just asking for support. You're sending a message. I don't trust myself. And over time, that neediness pushes people away. Think of it like this. Relationships thrive on balance. If you're always the one needing rescue, even the most patient person starts feeling like a caregiver, not a friend. Studies show that chronic dependence is a top reason adult children limit contact with aging parents, not because they don't care, but because they're overwhelmed. Here's your power move. Before reaching out, ask yourself, can I handle this myself? Google the error code. Try assembling the shelf once. You'll be shocked how much you're capable of and how proud others will be when you say, figured it out. This isn't about never asking for help. It's about proving to yourself and others that you're resourceful. Independence isn't isolation, it's confidence. And confidence? That's magnetic. Try this. Next time you're stuck, give yourself 10 minutes to solve it alone. If you're still stuck, then ask. You'll save relationships and discover strengths you forgot you had. Remember, people want to cheer for you, not carry you. And if you've ever felt overwhelmed by someone else's neediness or your own, comment number 5 below. Let's normalize healthy interdependence. But what if you're independent, adaptable, and positive, and still pushing people away? The culprit might surprise you. Next up, reason 6, holding on to resentment. Resentment is like drinking poison and waiting for the other person to die. It festers, it rots, and over time it poisons every relationship it touches. But here's the brutal truth. When you refuse to let go of old wounds, you're not punishing them. You're imprisoning yourself. Imagine 2 family reunions. At one, Uncle Joe brings up the same argument from 10 years ago. Remember when you forgot my birthday? Typical. At the other, Aunt Maria says, we've all made mistakes. Let's focus on today. Which gathering leaves people feeling lighter? Which one do you think gets repeat invites? Holding grudges doesn't make you strong. It makes you stagnant. That bitterness seeps into your voice, your posture, even your silence. People don't drift away because of the past. They leave because they can't bear the weight of your unforgiveness in the present. Here's your freedom ticket. Write a forgiveness letter. Pour every angry, hurt, messy thought onto paper. Then don't send it. Burn it. Bury it. Release it into the universe. This isn't about excusing their actions. It's about reclaiming your peace. We've all been hurt. But when you rehearse that pain daily, it becomes a script everyone else is forced to perform. Forgiveness isn't weakness. It's the ultimate power move. It says, what you did matters, but my peace matters more. This week, pick one old wound. Write the letter. Then let it go, literally. Tear it up, flush it, whatever it takes. Watch how lightness replaces the weight you've carried for years. Resentment keeps you chained to the past. Forgiveness? It frees you to build a better future. And if you've ever let go of a grudge, or wish someone would let go of theirs, comment number 6 below. Let's celebrate healing together. But what if you've done all this, grown, adapted, forgiven, and people still keep their distance? The final reason might shock you. Next up, the invisible boundary everyone ignores until it's too late. Reason 7, not respecting boundaries. Boundaries aren't walls, they're the fences that keep relationships healthy. But when we ignore them, love turns into pressure, care feels like control, and slowly people start backing away. Let's get honest. Have you ever pushed a loved one to visit saying, you never make time for me? Or offered advice they didn't ask for, like, let me tell you how to raise your kids. These aren't acts of love. They're invasions. And nothing pushes people away faster than feeling like their space doesn't matter. Think of relationships like gardens. No fences, they get trampled. But clear, respectful boundaries, they let trust bloom, saying, I'd love to see you when you're free, or asking, do you want my thoughts? Isn't cold, it's kind. It says, I respect your time, your choices, your you. Here's your toolkit. Is this a good time to talk? I'm here if you need me. No pressure, just want you to know I care. These small shifts turn demands into invitations. And invitations? Those get RSVPs. Boundaries aren't about pushing people out. They're about pulling them closer sustainably. And if you've ever struggled to set them or felt guilty for needing them, comment number 7 below. Let's normalize healthy space. Try this. Next time you want to demand or advise, pause. Ask yourself, am I honoring their boundaries or mine? Then choose the kinder path. Trust me, they'll feel the difference. Strong fences make strong gardens. Strong boundaries, they make unbreakable bonds. And speaking of bonds, let's tackle the final reason relationships fade, one that's hiding in plain sight. Up next, the quietest relationship killer of all. Reason 8, lack of empathy. Empathy isn't just hearing words, it's feeling them. And when we dismiss others' experiences with phrases like, you're too young to understand, or it's not that big a deal, we don't just invalidate them, we isolate ourselves. Let's get real. Ever shared something vulnerable, only to hear, you'll get over it? It stings. Now imagine saying, tell me how you feel. Suddenly walls come down. That's the power of empathy. It's not about fixing problems. It's about saying, I see you. Here's the science. 75% of people say feeling heard is what keeps them in a relationship. But when you shut down conversations with, back in my day, or stop being dramatic, you're not just missing the point, you're missing them. See how that works? You're not agreeing. You're acknowledging. Try it this week. Swap "you're overreacting" with "help me understand." Watch how people lean in instead of pulling away. Empathy isn't a talent, it's a choice. And if you're willing to make that choice today, comment number 8 below. Let us know you'll try active listening this week. Because sometimes the greatest gift you can give is simply saying, go on, I'm here. Practice reflecting, not reacting. Next conversation, pause and say, so what I'm hearing is, then stop talking. Let them fill the silence. You'll be amazed how deep connections grow. Empathy doesn't just keep people in your life. It reminds them why they want to stay. And that brings us to our final truth. You've just uncovered the 8 hidden reasons people drift away as we age. But here's the best part. None of this is permanent. Let's wrap this up with your step-by-step plan to rebuild connections, reclaim joy, and never feel left behind again. We've covered a lot today. 8 hidden behaviors that quietly push people away as we age. But here's the best part. None of these are life sentences. Every single one can be fixed, starting today. Let's recap. Neglecting growth, constant negativity, one-sided effort, resisting change, overdependence, holding grudges, ignoring boundaries, and lack of empathy. These aren't flaws, they're habits. And habits can be broken. You don't have to lose connections. Small intentional changes can rebuild bridges you thought were burned. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. And progress starts with one step. Your turn. Tag someone who needs this video. And if you're new here, subscribe. Next week, we're diving into how to reconnect with a strange family. You won't want to miss it. This isn't goodbye, it's see you later. And remember, aging isn't about losing connections. It's about choosing which ones to keep. You've got the tools. Now go build the relationships you deserve.